What is good, YouTube? Oli King here, back with another video. Today I won't be playing a game, no, I'll actually be looking at how one of my favorite franchises was sabotaged by corporate greed. And I also explain just how good it was actually meant to be. There's actually a lot to talk about, so I figured I'd split the video into chapters. Believe it or not, but Mortal Kombat 11 also had microtransactions. However, those purchases were not in your face at all. Not a single item was locked behind a paywall. You could play the game for hours upon hours and unlocking plenty of rewards just by sinking some time into it. Okay, there may have been one or two cases where you actually had to spend some crystals, but I can assure you didn't have to buy them. You would get just the right amount from the towers in order to set you up for the whole lifespan of the game. Fast forward 4 years and you get something like this. What kind of baloney? This item can only be purchased with dragon crystals. Now this wouldn't be a problem if the crystals were as easily earned as was the case with Mortal Kombat 11. But nah, the only way you can possibly earn this currency is by repeating possibly the most boring grind I have ever experienced. Not only that, but the crystals are tied to the mastery system, meaning it'll probably take you somewhere around 10 hours to get, I don't know, 200 crystals? Now, this would be great if the items weren't overpriced as fuck. No matter where you look, the game always urges you to spend some money on it. Main menu on the bottom right, oh look, this and that is in the shop. Oh, you wouldn't want to miss out on this. It's only here for a day. This trick luckily hasn't worked on me, so I only bought the premium edition of the game, and that's it. With all these amazing skins being locked behind a paywall, we need to remind ourselves of how many skins a single character would usually have. Those being 4 to 7, and yes, even the DLC characters had a little something. On top of that, the amount of gear pieces per character was just insane, only because they had 3 pieces each. Now this is one of the most pathetic downgrades I have ever seen. You have a great game with tons of cosmetics, and what do you do for the next installment? Strip it naked. This game you do have skins, most of the time 2 per character, default included. But oh look, you have so many palettes to choose from. Wow, how innovative is what I'd say if they weren't just lazy recovers. That part of the script was written somewhere in February, but I still stand by most of the things I have said. Although I have noticed that the newer skins are 500 dragon crystals, which translates to about $5, opposed to 1,000 crystals, $10. So I guess Mortal Kombat 1 is slowly healing. Also, some of the upcoming skins might make me whip out some moolah soon.
And they called me the chosen one.
Boy, if you don't get your squiggly diggly head.
I get the whole resetting the universe craze, but too many unnecessary changes were made. I'll start with the few things that this installment actually got right. Characters who were previously jobbers actually have in-depth development, and even their own chapters in this story mode. Characters who were absent for too damn long finally make their return. The settings and reimagined classic stages look good and unique. I especially like the tea house and the hourglass, as they don't resemble any stages we have ever seen before. Sure, the hourglass we've seen in MK11, but not to this degree of detail. And lastly, no more special forces or unnecessary one-off characters. Both MKX and MK11 were just the Nether Realm versus the special forces. Not the most engaging stories if you ask me. Now the negatives I bring up counter most of the positives. The characters who were brought back are steaming piles of dog shit. Sure, as much as I love Reiko's design in this game, I can't deny that he is nothing but the general's lapdog who serves very little purpose in the story. He may have tamed Onaga in his tower ending, but we didn't see that in the actual story mode. Havoc is now a depressed edgelord who throws tantrums left and right. And to pour salt on the wound, he is fused with one of the most boring characters in MK history. And Nitara?
Don't I scare you in the least?
But that's enough of the characters. The changes made to the lore of Mortal Kombat that has stayed the same for many years also baffles me. Sub-Zero is now Scorpion, and Hanzo Hasashi, the previous Scorpion, is non-existent. Unless you want to count Smoke's tower ending, and I guess the first invasion season. Tarkatans are now just deceased people waiting for Death's release. This means that MK1 is most likely the last game Baraka will appear in, for a good while, assuming Tarkat catches up with him. Sad stuff since Baraka is one of my personal favorites from the franchise. even being featured on my channel's banner. And lastly, redeeming characters just to kill them off in the story mode is not cool, man.
Nighty-nighty.
There it is. The BBC.
The BBC. The BBC.
Is good. If you actually have a problem with jump-ins being nerfed, then get good. If the mix-ups annoy you, that's on you, buckaroo. And if you're getting zoned, consider picking the right car. I guess my only gripe is the cameo system, but I'll talk more about it in the following section. Now back to gameplay. There really isn't a lot I can complain about. MK11 is probably in my top 3 MK games of all time, and it was all mix-ups and footsies. But I gotta admit, having combos back is very refreshing. Very few things in life bring more joy than hitting a 40 or more % combo.
Oh no, I got that fight or flight feeling again, and I'm flighting. Oh, sorry, sir. Come on, come on. It. Excuse me, fight or flight coming through. Excuse me, fight or flight is on its way. Excuse me, man, fight or flight. Fight or flight.
It should make sense that a game which took 2 extra years to make should be jam-packed with content on release. MK11 had tons and tons of things to do upon release. The Crypt, Combat League rewards which weren't just palette swaps, and character mastery, also back then known as character towers. It wasn't half as boring as what we have now. Seriously, this game has been out for the past 7 months, and I only have this many characters maxed out. And the DLCs barely count, since they have 15 tiers less than the base characters. Now, a younger, more naive me actually thought this will be Mortal Kombat Armageddon 2, content-wise. Just because of those 2 years with absolutely nothing being released. I thought plenty of minigames will be included. Combat card, puzzle combat, chess combat, conquest mode, or a more in-depth script. But nope, Invasions, Combat League is shittier than ever, and no minigames are available via that menu whatsoever. I can even see a lot of things that were meant to be in, but got scrapped, just by playing the game. The fusion fighters in the last chapter, the third-person camera of Invasions, and of course the iconic test your
Strike, sight.
minigames, which we only got one, so it really sucks. Additionally, the roster size should have been doubled, which also corresponds to the point I was gonna make about cameos. Let's say that from the past 3 MK games post-reset, MK9, MKX, and MK11, we took all of the characters included in those games, we killed off the variation system, we mixed and matched all of their most fun specials and strings from the NetherRealm trilogy, also throwing in some new moves. That would bring the starting roster size to 50 characters with no repeats. And the characters returning from the 3D era that were meant to make their first reboot appearance, make them all DLC, both the main fighters and cameos. Now that amount of characters sounds insane for a game like Mortal Kombat, but I'm sure copy and pasting the movesets, changing some speeds and adding a few new moves with double the usual development time wouldn't be too bad. Who knows, maybe in the MK13, MK2, who knows. If the roster was that big, then all of the cameos would just be characters from the base roster. The best comparison I could make is All-Star Battle R, a game which is 6 feet under and most likely never making a comeback. But it allows you to pick a main fighter, and similarly to MK1, a helper character. These characters are also from the main roster, but have 2 or 3 moves when they are equipped as an assist. Hold up, an even better comparison would be the assist in MK11 Towers of Time. Okay, now I'm angry. So we went from having everyone from the main roster be an assist, and all of them having 4 moves each, to barely any of the main roster being cameos. and a lot of the cameos not being playable. That's great. MK1 once again proves its laziness. And lastly, the other alities. Where are the mercies? Where are the animalities? Where are the babalities? Babality. Where are the stage fatalities? Stage fatalities, I was most excited to see those. There's a lot of potential in a lot of these stages. The Shank Stunk's laboratory. No, not his lab. Actually, his lab could work too, but I meant the flesh bits. Even Johnny's mansion could work with the infinity pool. I can see it. There's a lot of stages that could easily have a stage fatality implemented. Madame Bo's tea house. Oh my god, how sick would that be? All of the like NPCs in the background just like, okay, I'm sick and tired of these guys fighting all the time. Really ruining the mood for everyone, and they all like gang up on the guy. It's like the special forces stage in NPX. But yeah, I love to see those make a return sometime. Hopefully soon. Hopefully in Aftermath. How about that? How about that? But yeah, there was a lot to discuss in this video. I don't know how long it ended up being. To the ones who stuck around, really thank you, because this was just like me talking. That's probably not the most fun like video to watch. Also, Multiverse is dropping later today. As this is being recorded, I don't know about being edited. So I'm gonna try to release this as soon as possible. And then after that, Multiverses, you know it. I used to play that shit every day back when it was out. Back when it was in its peak. Oh my god, Shaggy. Oh my god, who else? I think Morty. Morty was a great character. And Harley Quinn. How could one forget Harley Quinn? So we'll probably be playing that. As for MK1 videos that are to come, I have no intention of playing Homelander, really. Think he's an unnecessary character, so probably not gonna record anything when he releases. For a fair cameo, definitely, because that's an exciting cameo right there. And when the movie Scorpion skin releases. So I think I'll take a little break from MK1. I've been doing this for way too long. Barely gets any recognition. Barely makes me any moolah. I know how bad that sounds. Oh my god. Such a bad boy. But that is all for today's video. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. And see you in the next one. Peace.